All right, I'm trying to hide it so you can't see it for the big reveal. So recently I purchased this. It is a 7 by 14 foot dual axle enclosed cargo trailer. In this video, we're gonna kind of bring this thing up to its original glory. So let me bring you into the trailer and show you exactly what we need to do. Okay, so a couple of the major things I want to do is I do want to redo this floor just because it's ready to be cleaned up and redone. These walls show a lot of water damage because these windows leak. So I'm not going to replace the paneling. I'm just going to paint all the paneling. That needs to be done. These overhead cabinets, I've seen multiple people hit their heads on these. I'm going to eliminate these. Maybe just one of them, haven't decided yet. Definitely one of them's gonna go. And then this front right here, I like the upper cabinet for storage for straps. So I'll definitely leave that. I'm still unsure about this lower bench. This door, I was told not to open it because it wouldn't close. So you can see here, there's a big giant air gap here. It's tight here, big gap here. And on the outside, you can see that old caulk line. You can see that the door actually slid this way. So what I want to do is I want to try to loosen those bolts up there and kick the door this way. Hopefully then the door latch will actually work. Also, like I said, these windows either did leak or do leak. And that's because you can kind of see, I don't know if you can really see on the camera, but there's a huge gap right here where that silicone has it. It's kind of pulled away. So I want to probably remove the windows and reseal all that. I will also service the hubs. I'll get those greased up. I won't show you that, but just so you know. Also what I want to do is I want to add some e-tracking system right here, some better trim down around the floor to kind of help protect that, because as you can kind of see, things like to run into the wall. So I'm going to add a 2x on the bottom, or 1x on the bottom. Just a couple little things, but I say we start cleaning this thing out, getting stuff we won't need out. And this back outlet, I just found out, I've been around this thing for 15 years and I always was curious if that would work. Fun fact, it actually does work. They used to camp in it, so that would make sense. So let's just start working. Let's get dusty. So I decided I'm going to take both the cabinets off of each side. What would you do? Would you leave them up? Would you take them down? Now I'm going to take them down because of the fact that this is no longer going to be used for like construction. I'm not going to be storing stuff in here, so I think I can take it all down. Now the reason I was going to leave it up was because I thought if I had the cabinets in the front, I would keep all my straps and the jack and everything like that in there. But then I thought if I break down with a full load, everything's going to be way up there and I'm not going to be able to get it. So I think at some point I'll get one of the tongue boxes. I'm taking the doors off because then it'll be lighter. And when it comes down, it won't hurt so bad. Oh, and I've seen about 4 people smash their domes on the bottom of this thing. That was kind of one of my deciding factors. Alright, so I got everything removed out of here. I am going to keep the entire back wall with the cabinet and the desk area, countertop. I'm going to keep that because I think if I remove it, I think eventually I'll regret removing the countertop. So I'm going to keep that there. Alright, so I think the first things that we need to do is, alright, so this is one of those projects where I really just want to start painting and making stuff and really seeing the transformation right away. But realistically, it doesn't make sense to do all that if I don't know that there's not a leak. It wouldn't have made sense for the captain to have hit the iceberg on the Titanic and then yelled, paint the floors. Okay, that's not how things should work. So I'm going to remove the windows. I think that's the best idea, is completely remove them and then actually completely reseal them, and then we'll figure out the trim and stuff on the inside. That way I know that we are indeed leak proof. So we're going to remove both windows, reseal them. I wish I would have recorded that. So, So this screw was absolutely stripped to get out, and I've never done this before. You might already know how to do this. Took my cutoff wheel and I just ground it and made a flathead ability on it. Took a flathead screwdriver and got it right out. It was a stripped Phillips. That was a pretty cool trick I just did. I'm actually super proud of it. See if I can get the window out now. So like 12, 13 years ago, I was told, do not open this side door because it will never close again. I opened it. So hopefully now I can fix it, or I just made a huge mistake. But I'm gonna try to loosen these hinges and realign the door, see if that helps. The door strike jamb is a little dented in. I'm gonna kind of see if I can play with that a little bit too. That's looser than a gooser. Please tell me I didn't just snap that. Sure I snapped it. Maybe that's why they said don't open the door. Well, I can definitely adjust the door now. Alright, so the windows are all sealed and reinstalled, so now it's time to start painting. Now I'm going to use all these furring strips to do all that trim that I took off, but before I paint these I want to quickly sand them down a little bit, get them just a little bit less boogery, so we will do that, then we'll start painting this trim before we install it, and I'll also start painting the inside of the trailer. So this is actually the cleanest that this floor will probably ever look, because I'm about to come in here with dirty feet, put some trim on, and I'm also going to use this before this video is done, which means I'm going to be hauling stuff in and out. So enjoy the nice, clean, beautiful floor, because it's about to get ruined. So first things I'm going to do is I'm going to lay a 1x6 along this bottom edge on both sides, just to give me a little bit of height of when I'm bringing in quads and stuff like that. I don't blow through the walls all the time. I'm going to add that, and then above that, I don't know how far yet, I'm going to add some E-tracking. I got 10 feet on each wall of the E-tracking to lay that, and then I will finish up the rest of the trim. So let's make this beautiful floor no longer beautiful. So because I did not buy long enough boards, I'm going to attempt to use pocket holes to join these two boards together, just so that later on in life they don't ever go. So don't know if this is going to work. I'm afraid I'm going to blow through the other end, but we'll try it. So I thought I was being smart. I bought these pole barn screws because they're, self-tapping. And I thought, hey, they're cheaper than regular self-tappers, and you get like 2 extra. I was like, oh yeah, I'm cheating the system. But these self-tappers don't go through the steel ribs on the trailer. So now I do have to pre-drill every one of these before I put them in. But it's working. It's just not as fast as I thought it would have went. So good thing I saved $2. I'm using my square here. I can see the ribs through this giant gap up that you probably can't see. So I'm using my square to run that line down for me so I know where to pre-drill. So now I think you figured out how I'm doing all the trim in there. I'm just covering up all the seams with the furring strips, drilling holes, and then putting those screws in. Now we're up to the E-Track. Now I went to my local Harbor Freight because they were the best price for E-Track. And I bought 4 sections of 5-foot E-Track, which gives me 20-foot sections, which I don't need all of that. But what I am going to do is I am going to actually cut the E-Track and weld all the seams. That way I can wrench on wherever I want and I don't have to worry about it folding out. It should be a lot more secured that way. So now I'm just going to cut these and weld these and then install them. I'm going to probably install them the exact same way I'm doing the trim. I'm just going to use those lag screws, those self-tapping lag screws to go right through. If I need to later on go through and do something bigger and beefier, I will, but I think those should hold. I think. We'll see how it goes, then I might go buy some bigger ones, but we're going to cut and weld this up. Alright, so still working on the inside. I think you guys have figured out how I'm trimming that up, but I need to use the trailer tomorrow and I need to make sure that this door doesn't open while I'm driving down the road. So what I realized in all the work I've been doing is that this handle was actually added and the big swing latch was taken off. That's why these bolts are here and these bolts are right here and this bolt's down there. So I need to fix that. So I bought a new latch. So hopefully we can put this back on and then this problem with the door will be completely solved, because after I broke the bolts off, I did jack it up, retighten it, and I did re-level it back off. So it's now sealed correctly. Let's get it to latch correctly. I don't know what it is about this door, but everything wants to break on it. All the bolts. Top bolt scratched the crap out of the trailer itself around there. Bolt broke. Bottom one, giving me problems. So this is what we're gonna do. It's a round carriage bolt. Just goes, I can't get vice grips on it. I'm gonna cut 2 sides of that circle. So hopefully that'll give me something to grip to, then hopefully I can break. Yeah, not hot. Okay, 25 minutes later, and angle grinder screwed up the door all over the place. Finally got it cut and pushed out. These 4 bolts took me 30 seconds to take off. These two bolts, 25 minutes. Awful. Let's open this thing up and hope the reinstall is way better. Doesn't feel like it's going to go right. It feels like the hinge is going to be directly in the way. I bet you it goes this way. Alright, so it's been well over an hour. I got it installed. I had to drill all new holes. So the old holes, I stuck all the bolts back in silicone those. Everything's been silicone, so it shouldn't leak. Bam! So that was an absolute nightmare. I spent 25 minutes grinding out holes and scratching the trailer on bolts that didn't even need to come off. So I had to fill them with new bolts. At least my door won't open. Alright, right now we're going to add the spare tire carrier to the front of the tongue. Now currently the spare tire just hangs out in there and goes around. I want it out here because again my fear is if I ever need the spare tire, trailer's full, can't get to it. So we're going to install it right here. Hopefully this goes easy. The box is falling apart, so hopefully all the stuff's in there. Yeah, so the Harbor Freight spare tire mount kit, cheaper than the cheap ones on Amazon, seems to be awesome. Highly recommend. Go back inside and finish up the trim. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to add these D-rings along this top rail here. Now I'm going to add these the exact same way to the E-track. I've marked off where all the ribs on the trailer are. Then I'm going to drill the holes and I'm going to use those self-tapping screws to tap them in. I bought 12 of them off Amazon. Alright, and I also picked some of these up at Harbor Freight, and these just clip right into the E-tracking. Let's do it where you can see it. Clip right into the E-tracking, and allows me to use my regular hook straps right on them. Now, how durable is this E-tracking going to be because of the fact that I just use those self-tappers? Let's see. Alright, so let's see how this works here. I got one clip here. There. Pulling the walls in, which I think is kind of shows. And if you listen to that, the dog stops going. You can hear the got like a D minor going on here, the low E. So I think that's gonna be fine. Let's test these upper D-rings and see how those things hold up. Should hold up just as well because they are, wow, they are installed the exact same way. Same thing, it's pulling the walls in, and let's see if we can. D minor. Sweet. Alright, so the decision to leave the upper cabinets was a hard one, and I went back and forth because I didn't want to lose the space of the trailer, but I also didn't want to lose the ability to, if I ever wanted to use this as a camper like was done in the past. So I left them in there, and now that the side door opens, I feel way more comfortable being able to utilize these upper cabinets, because now if we have a bunch of crap in here, there's a good chance I'll still be able to get to the cabinets. This was a fun, big project. I'm glad this thing's gonna get is kind of brought back up to where it should have been. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys on the next video.